King Cyrus's fatherhood. At noon, Robert high, like only he could. The fables are bizarre but good. It's Smith Understood.
Okay.
I don't know that I've yodeled yet. So.
Yeah, I think you probably have.
Fuck.
But that was not like that, though. That one took me off guard.
It took your breath away.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for listening to another episode of Myth Understood with me, Paul Bianchi, and her, Sarah Oliver. If you listen to this podcast on the regular and you're like, how can I follow you on social media? You can find us always at _Myth Understood on social media. You can find her at the Sarah Oliver, and you can find me at the Paul Bianchi.
Do it now.
Yeah. Sarah.
What?
We recently, let's put a timestamp on this. We recently celebrated Easter.
Yes.
And on that Easter, we played a game that's not really a game. I don't think of it as much of a game.
Well, we did that game on this show.
Yeah. It was the question, what's it called officially?
We're really not strangers. We're not really strangers.
But what's the name of the game?
That's the fucking name.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just saying that as a statement.
No.
Okay. And one of the questions on the cards that came up on Sunday was
I feel like this is like Jenny Jones' Maury show. Like you're ambushing me with a hot gotcha question.
Well, I'm asking a question that's related to today's myth.
Okay.
But that question was when was the last time you lied to your mother?
Yes.
Or what was the last thing you lied to your mother about?
Yeah.
And I thought it was an interesting question because I don't know, maybe this isn't everyone's experience, but as an adult, I feel like that's a less often occurrence. But maybe I as I'm saying that and as I just thought about it, I was like, that isn't an everyone occurrence.
No, it's
because
not.
there's the lying by omission, there's the
Let's not get into a fight. I think
Yeah.
that's most of my lies.
yeah.
It's fine.
Mhm.
Let's go.
Yeah. In fact, that question might have even come up in the Q&A session.
No.
Well, the reason I say that is because my parents listened to an episode of Myth Understood on a road trip down to when my dad went and got vaccinated in Louisiana.
And they discovered your dirty lies?
And I was asked a question like that because my mom was like, I wonder what the last thing Paul thought he lied about to me was. But
confess to her now. Confess your sins.
Well, I don't even remember what I said because I think it was something like, oh yeah, I did that. You know, that sort of thing.
Keep it vague.
Yeah, the little
Keep them guessing. You'll never know, Julie, but I do.
But the whole reason I thought of that card and I thought of that moment when I was reading and studying for this episode is because I feel like this story that I'm going to share with you today feels like more of a lie than like any other mythology. Like,
that's surprising. These are all lies. These are all fabricated stories.
Yeah,
these are make-em-ups.
That's true, but like this, I guess I'll want to hear your thoughts at the end of it to see if that's.
I'm gonna give them.
If that's if you feel the same way. The other thing I thought of was that movie, The Invention of Lying.
Yeah.
When I was reading, it's like and that if you're unfamiliar, that's a movie with Ricky Gervais.
It's just okay.
And Jennifer Garner.
It's a better idea than execution for sure.
Yeah, that was sort of my feeling too. But the premise is that Ricky Gervais's character lives on an Earth where no one has ever lied before, and one day he figures out that he can. Like, oh, what if I just did this? And that is a really solid premise.
And he just gets a lot of ass from it, right? I think that's the whole reason.
No, it takes a much different turn than that. It sort of becomes this whole like
thing about like atheism.
Yeah, diatribe on religion.
That.
Yeah. But it made me think about how back in the beginning of humanity and civilization.
Oh yeah, you were there.
Yeah. That I don't think that one day someone was like, "Oh, what if I just lie?" Like I think that that's a very natural thing to do. As soon as communication begins, How can I protect myself?
Oh, totally. It's option A. I tell him I ate the meat and I get bashed over the head with a club.
Oh, so you were there too.
Yeah, I was the one with the club.
But I also think that people who could lie extravagantly and convincingly on the spot, who were good storytellers, like that was
Actors.
That was a very miraculous thing, or it had to have been. Because,
The beginning of the theater.
yeah, because that was a novelty, and that
Yeah.
was people would have a storyteller in their court, or like this was something that people wanted to be around. So,
But have you never noticed like kids lie nonstop? I wonder if that's always just been a thing because they're using their imagination.
I think so. Like maybe kids lie nonstop, but they tend to babble. Like it's rare to find an entertaining liar of a kid who can like keep you captivated. For
I know them
for hours on end.
I know them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bring them on. They sound great. But it's I think it's maybe more rare for like to retain your imagination as an adult and be able to tap into what you had as a child.
Yeah.
So anyway, without further ado, maybe all
Stop
of this will.
a-doing.
I am a doing so much. This is the myth called the shipwrecked sailor, and this was documented on a roll of papyrus in around 2000 BCE.
So this is a rule.
Oh, real old. Yeah. So it begins talking about Amen-em-het, who was known as a good pharaoh. He brought peace and prosperity to a country that had been ravaged by civil war for nearly 200 years.
We love to see it.
Yeah. Granted, pharaohs like to have good things written about them. So who knows he obtained that peace. I chopped off everyone's arms. No
one got in a fist fight again.
During his reign, adventurers and traders went on many expeditions to the south, either up the Nile through Nubia and even as far as Ethiopia, along the Red Sea, out into the Indian Ocean to the mysterious land of Punt.
Ooh.
And Punt is what they call that part of the Red Sea that reconnects near what today is Somalia and like the Horn of Africa.
Okay.
From Punt, they brought back jewels, spices, and other treasures.
Ooh, that's a nice place.
So because of this era of free trade and excitement and adventure, the royal court was always filled with ship's captains, each with a tale to tell, and each anxious to win a commission from the pharaoh to command some royal venture on the basis of his reputation.
Okay, so they're just like lying for their GoFundMes.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
One day, a wanderer, let's give him a name.
Brett.
Oh, God, he's the main character in this story. It's Brett. Brett stopped the Grand Vizier in the palace at the courtyard of Thebes and said to him, what do you think Brett sounds like? Is he twangy?
Wait, will I like him or will I not like him?
He's the star of the story.
Oh, that's not an answer.
I know.
Yeah, give him a little twang.
Okay. My lord, hearken to me a while. I come with costly gifts for Pharaoh. I'm a little Dr. Phil, aren't I? Absolutely, Oprah.
Oh, no, it came back. He keeps doing it to me all weekend.
I come with costly gifts for Pharaoh, nor shall his counselors, such as yourself, be forgotten. I got gifts for you too. Listen, and I will tell you of such adventures that have not ever been told. Pharaoh himself, life, health, and strength be to him, will reward you for bringing to his presence a man such as me with these adventures to tell.
Oh, he's boastful. Boastful Brett.
I have been to a magical island in the sea far to the south, far beyond Nubia, to south even of Ethiopia. I beg of you to tell the Pharaoh that I am here and would have my tale to him. So the Grand Vizier hears this colorful stranger, and he's used to this shit.
Yeah.
He's like, this whole place is full of people who think that they have the most colorful story. Magical island, preposterous, poppycock. And he says, it seems to me that you speak very foolishly and have only vain things to tell.
Whoa, called out, Brett.
Many men such as you think that a tall story will win them a commission from Pharaoh, when the tall tales only condemn themselves out of their own mouths.
Ooh.
Because Pharaoh's no dummy. He can tell a lot. Here, he can tell when someone's lying to him.
He's heard it all.
Yeah. If what you have to tell is one of these, be sure that I'll have you thrown out of the palace and eaten by dogs.
Okay.
But if
Yikes.
it is of sufficient interest, I may bring you before the Pharaoh.
I wish this was the rule at open mics. If your 5-minute set is shit
Yeah.
to the dogs.
I've seen it. You bomb at the Laugh Factory, eaten by dogs. Therefore, speak at your own risk, or else remain silent and trouble me no more.
Damn.
But Brett will not be discouraged. He's like, I do have such a tale that I will risk anger with an easy mind. When you have heard it, you will beg me to come before the Pharaoh and tell it to him. Even the good God Pharaoh Amen-em-het, who rules this world. Listen then. And he like pulls him in closer by like the tie on his neck to tell him. And he said, I was on my way to the mines of Pharaoh in a great ship rowed by 150 sailors who had seen heaven and earth and whose hearts were stronger than lions.
What?
We rowed and sailed for many days down the Red Sea and out into the ocean beyond. Yeah, I think that detail is very unique too. He's like, all of his sailors, all 150 of them, have seen heaven and earth, and all of their hearts are stronger than lions. Who needs that detail?
Yeah.
Honestly.
So they're just some nice guys, is what he's saying?
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's good people.
Mm-hmm. The captain and the steersman swore that they knew the signs of the weather and that the wind would not be strong and would waft us gently along our way.
Come on, Dr. Phil. Lean in.
Nevertheless, before a long tempest arose, suddenly drove us towards the land. As we drew near the shore, and the waves were 8 cubits in height, and broke over the ship and dashed our ship upon the rocks.
8 cupids?
Cubits.
Oh, okay.
It's the old-timey measurement.
Yeah, I know. No, I don't.
And just as this giant wave broke over our ship and dashed it upon the rocks, I seized a piece of wood and flung myself into the sea just as the ship ran aground. A moment later, it was smashed to pieces, and every man perished, except for me.
Damn, not a great leader. The captain goes down to the ship, or the exact opposite. Everybody else does.
This guy wasn't the captain.
Oh, he wasn't?
No, he was just a sailor.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's fine.
Mm-hmm. He was one of the men who had seen
I've seen heaven and earth.
I've seen heaven and earth.
I'm getting out of here.
And my heart's as great as a lion, but I'm going to just jump away. Save myself! That's what he shouted. Save myself! Everyone's like, you don't mean save yourself? He's like, no, save myself! But a great wave raised the board to which I clung over the sharp rocks.
He's the first surfer.
And cast me up the shore on level sand, and I was able to crawl into the shelter of the trees and out of reach of the cruel, angry sea. When day dawned, the tempest passed away, and the warm sun shone out. I rose up to see where I was, giving thanks to the gods for my deliverance, when all the rest had perished.
Wow. That's the opposite of what you should do.
What?
I mean, mourn a little.
No, he just said, thank you, God.
He just did a
I'm
little
so
dance.
happy everyone else died except for me. They weren't really that great. I talked him up.
Yeah.
Steve was rude. He never shared his gum. I was on an island with no other human being a companion to me.
I had to jerk myself off for 3 straight months.
I was so immediately lonely. But
What?
But such an island as no man had ever seen. The broad leaves of the thicket where I lay formed a roof over my head to shield me from the burning midday sun. And by this he means, like, literally, he lays down and then the broad leaves
they
moved over.
Okay.
Because this is a magical island.
That's a lie. Keep going.
When I grew hungry and looked about for food, I found ready for me within easy reach figs and grapes,
Instant ramen.
all manner of herb, if you get my drift, berries and grains, melons of all kinds. I would walk up to streams, and fishes would leap into my hands.
Into my mouth.
Birds would fly down, not to take a shit on me as usual, but jump into my mouth for the taking. Yeah, this is kind of all what he's saying.
Okay.
At first, I satisfied my hunger on the fruits around me, and on the third day, I dug a pit and took a shit. I dug a pit and kindled a fire in it, which I made first all of the burnt offering to the gods, and then I cooked the meat and fish for myself.
Hey, he's had that fish just out for 3 days.
Yeah.
He's going to get the shits.
Yeah. As I sat there comfortably after an excellent meal, I suddenly heard a noise like thunder. Suddenly, beside myself with terror and the PTSD of the shipwreck,
He doesn't actually care.
I flung myself to the ground, thinking that a great tidal wave would come to engulf the island. For 3 days were lashing as if the breath of a tempest and the earth shook beneath me, but no wave ever came. At last I cautiously raised my head and looked about me. Never shall I forget the horror of that moment. Moving towards me, I saw a serpent, 30 cubits long. With what, Sarah? What made this serpent different, aside from being 30 cubits long?
Fake eyelashes.
Oh, so close. With a beard
No.
of more than 2 cubits.
Okay, what's a cubit?
I don't have the reference.
Let's guess.
To me, I think it's I think a cubit.
What does 1 cubit look like?
I think a cubit is probably like the length of your hands, given the.
With your arms outstretched.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So if we're talking 5 feet, 6 feet.
Yeah, maybe. We'll have to look it up.
I'm gonna
There's
measure
probably
you.
someone who knows the accurate measurement of a cubit right now, and they're like, "No, it's 5 yards long." Exactly.
Just punching a wall.
Yeah. They're driving and honking angrily. Its body, the serpent, its body was covered with golden scales, and the scales round its eyes were shaded off into blue,
Okay, I'm not wrong. It's wearing makeup.
as pure as lapis lazuli.
What? Is that a flower?
That's the blue stone that's like really valuable and beloved in ancient Egypt.
Oh,
Mhm.
I want one.
The serpent coiled up its whole length in front of where I lay with my face on the ground, reared its head high above me, and said, "What is this serpent's name?"
Oh, it's a boy because it has a beard.
Well, maybe.
Maybe not. You're right. Timothy.
Timothy. So Timothy said, "What has brought you? What has brought you here, little one? Say, what has brought you to my island? If you do not tell me at once, I will show you what it is to be burnt with fire."
Oh, wait. How is it a fire breathing snake and it doesn't burn its own beard off?
I don't know.
Good beard oils.
What it is to be burnt with fire, be burnt to utterly nothing until you become a thing invisible.
Okay, I'm just gonna decimate you.
It just total immolation,
Yeah.
like no ashes left even.
Wow.
Speak quickly. I am waiting to hear what I have not heard before. Something new, please. Then the serpent took me. Oh, sorry. I'm back to being Brett. Then the serpent took me in his huge jaws and carried me away to his cave. He put me down there without hurting me, yes. Though he held me in his sharp teeth, he had not bitten me through. I was still whole.
Okay.
Then
He gave me a nice little back massage with his tongue.
Imagine the vizier during all of this. Just like,
Yeah.
Then he said, "What has brought you? What has brought you here, little one? Say what has brought you this island in the midst of the sea, and please, for God's sake, tell me something new, or I will slit your throat."
I have seen all the shows. I've binged it all. I'm sick of it. How many times can you see Golden Girls?
At this I managed to speak, crouching before him and bowing my face to the ground as if before the Pharaoh myself. I sailed by the command of Amen-em-het, Pharaoh of Egypt, in the great ship of 150 cubits in length, each with treasure from mines from the south. But a great tempest broke upon us, dashed the ship into rocks, and everyone died except for me.
Because I can surf.
I have been here for 3 days. So behold me, your suppliant, brought hither.
Oh, I hope he's doing a little spin.
Behold me in my little grass skirt, brought hither by a wave of the sea tither.
Wait, did he rhyme?
Yeah, hither and tither.
That's all he rhymed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then the serpent said to me, their voices are very similar.
Yep. You did it to yourself. It's higher register.
Yeah. Fear not.
It's not that high. Oh God. I'm gonna piss myself.
Fear not, little one. Nor let your face show any sadness. Since you have come to my island in this way, when all your companions perished, it is because some god has preserved and sent you. Surely Amen-Ra has sent you thus upon this island, the blessed, where nothing is lacking, which is filled with all good things, and me, the bearded snake person. So, and now I will tell you of the future.
Wait a second. How is this a different story than anyone else that's ever found his island?
No one has ever told him that
That I got shipwrecked?
Yeah, no one
What
has
the
ever.
fuck?
That it's something new.
Oh, it seems like the only way to find this magic island, but okay.
Maybe it was the little grass skirt. That was the new part.
Yeah.
I ate dead fish and didn't shit my pants. Wow. I will tell you the future. Here in this isle you shall remain, while 1 month adds itself until another 4 months have passed.
Okay, I'd have to be counting on my fingers here.
So basically, you'll be here for 4 months. Then a ship shall come, a ship of Egypt. It shall carry you home to safety, and at length you shall die in your own city and be laid to rest in the tomb which you have prepared.
Hold up. This is a psychic snake, but he didn't know this guy's story. And he was threatening, I'll maybe bite you if you don't tell me something interesting, fully knowing.
Sarah, he knows the future, not the present or the past.
Okay.
Then Brett continues to the vizier, who's no doubt at the edge of his seat.
Oh, he's just pouring himself drink after drink, like rubbing his temples.
Why did I let this man talk to me?
Yeah.
And now I will tell you of this island. For it is pleasant to hear strange things after the fear has been taken away from you. And you will indeed have a tale to tell when you return home and kneel before the Pharaoh, your lord and master.
This is the snake still.
Oh, this is the snake telling it. Sorry, I couldn't tell.
A little higher.
All right. Know that I dwell here with my brethren and my children about me. We are 75 serpents in all, children and kindred. But one stranger has ever come among us, a lovely girl who appeared strangely, and whom the fire of heaven fell, and who was turned into ashes. So basically,
he burned a bitch.
He burned the bitch, yeah.
Oh,
As for
he
you,
called her lovely, didn't he?
Oh yeah, she was a lovely girl. And she appeared strangely just like you. But when she said her story, which was, what could she have said that was like not interesting?
I was captured. I was a prisoner, and somehow my cage that I was in flew up here during a storm.
Boring. Heard it before. Watched it on the 3rd season of Lost. Time to die. As for you, I do not think that heaven holds any thunderbolts for one who has lived through such dangers. It is revealed to me that if you dwell here in patience, you shall return in fullness of time and hold your wife and your children in your arms once more.
Wait, he doesn't even mention having a wife or kids.
No, he lets the snake tell that part of the story. Then I bowed before him, thanking him for his words of comfort, and said, all that I have told you is true, and if what you said happens to me indeed, I shall come before the Pharaoh and tell him about you, the bearded snake man with his 75 children, and speak to him of your greatness. I will also bring as offerings to you sacred oils and perfumes and such incense as is offered to the gods in their temples.
It's fucking hilarious. How's a snake gonna put perfume on?
With the end of his tail.
Okay.
Holding the little powder.
Yeah, that's true. He has eyeshadow on.
Moreover, I shall tell him of all the wonders of this isle, and I shall sacrifice asses to you. You know what I mean.
And then he shows that little hula skirt again. I'm not wearing anything underneath.
And Pharaoh shall send a ship filled with the riches of Egypt as presents to your majesty.
Well, he's making promises he can't keep.
Yeah, he did. If the vizier is like, don't ixnay on promising things for the Pharaoh say.
Whoa. So this snake doesn't like if you come to his island in a regular way, but he's like, we're going to build a hotel here, is what Brett's promising, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, we're all coming.
Yeah, and so the snake king goes, you are truly not rich in perfumes. Like, I can tell you're lying. You can't promise me shit. For here in this island, I have more than all of the land of Punt. Only sacred oil which you promised me is scarce here. Yet I know you'll never bring it to me.
You don't have that perfume money, honey.
For when you are gone, this island will vanish away, and you shall never more see it. Yet doubtless the gods will reveal into the time to come for some other wanderer, and they better tell me something interesting new, or I will burn them. I will burn them something fierce.
No one wants to be on this island.
No, there's food and...
Yeah, but there's giant snakes.
With beards.
No, I don't want that.
Who delight in interesting stories.
And breathe fire.
But Sarah, you could tell them an interesting story that they've never heard before.
Could I?
Yeah.
Could I?
Try it.
Oh, about how I got there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I booked it on Airbnb, and
all right.
And all of my friends are here too. Well, actually, you just turned them to smoke and dust.
I don't remember doing that, but okay.
Maybe I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
You can also bring flames?
I also set people on fire.
Wow.
Yeah.
We are kindred.
Okay. Do you want to
be my 76th child?
Yes, I do.
Anyway, so Brett says,
what an excellent scenario.
So I dwelt happily in that enchanted isle for 4 months, and they seemed too short because I had such a great time with the 75 snake people. When after the 4th month drew close, a ship sailing over smooth sea towards me, and I climbed into a high tree to see better what manner of men sailed in it. And when I perceived they were men of Egypt, I hastened to the home of the Serpent King and told him. But he already knew before I told him.
Yeah, he's snake psychic.
And he said to me, "Farewell, brave wanderer." Oh, his voice keeps changing.
Yep.
Now, farewell, brave wanderer.
Well, it's been 4 months. He's aged. I mean, how long do snakes live?
Not very long. Return in safety to your home, and may blessings go with you.
Now his beard is white.
Yeah, before it was black.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Then I bowed before him and thanked him, and he gave me gifts of precious perfumes.
Are you seeing a little curtsy in your mind too with the Hawaiian skirt?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Of cassia and sweet woods, of coal and cypress, of incense, of ivory, and other precious things. And when I had set those upon the ship, and the sailors would have landed, the island seemed to move away from them, floating on the sea. Then night fell suddenly. When the moon shone out, there was no island in sight, and only open waves.
Damn.
So we sailed north, and on the 2nd month we came to Egypt. And I have made haste to cross the desert from the sea to Thebes. Therefore I pray you, lead me to the Pharaoh, for I long to tell him of my adventures, and lay at his feet the gifts of the king of the serpents, and beg that he will make me commander of a royal ship to sail once more into the ocean that washes the shores of Punt.
Oh, so he's looking for a raise.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. When the wanderer's tale was ended, the Grand Vizier laughed heartily, crying in tears. And he said, "Whether or not I believe your dumb adventure, you have told a tale as delights the heart of the Pharaoh. I know what he likes.
Oh, he thinks this is hilarious.
It's stupid shit like this.
Yeah. Okay.
Life, health, and strength be to him. He is an idiot. Therefore, come with me at once and be sure of a rich reward, because when you tell this tale, milk will shoot out of his nose and you'll catch it in a goblet and drink it. No, he wants.
Oh my god!
But he's like, be sure of a rich reward. To you who tell the tale, to me who brings him the teller of the tale. I'll get it rewarded too for bringing this bullshit.
Yeah,
to
it's
him.
like bringing someone a good YouTube video. It's so rewarding.
So the wanderer passed into the presence of the good god Pharaoh Amen-em-het, and the pharaoh delighted in the story of the shipwrecked sailor so much that he summoned his chief scribe Amen-em-et to write it down on a roll of papyrus, where it may be read to this very day.
Wow.
And that's the story. And when I finished reading this story, I thought, why? Why was this written down?
Yeah. There's no real lesson here. It's like dumb luck into things.
Mm-hmm.
Know how to surf, I guess.
And not only, so like, this is why I was talking about lying at the beginning, because I was thinking about how most myths are regarded as like, this is what happened when back in the day, Apollo and Pan chased after these nymphs, and the nymph turned into a laurel tree, and that's why we have laurel trees.
Yeah.
It's not presented. Back in the day, Sam told me about Apollo and Pan chasing a nymph, and she turned into a laurel tree, and that's why Sam says laurel trees exist.
Yeah.
This is a myth presented in that way.
This is like, third strain.
Yeah.
It's been through a couple of ear holes.
Yeah. This is, it has that like thing at the end that says like, this could be a lie, but we liked it. So we wrote, so we wrote it down. And
I was really expecting him to get eaten by dogs.
Yeah. Well, maybe afterwards.
Yeah, once they wrote it down, they're like, that's so good, dude. That's so good. Anyway, to the dogs.
But we don't have any room for a new commander.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to trust this fool as a new commander?
This is where I would call bullshit is the beard on the snake.
That's the one part?
That's it. Everything else checks out.
One thing it made me think about is the circumstance. So this is a sailor who probably there is record of that he was sent away on the ship.
You think?
Maybe. The Egyptians had records. They were a pretty organized society. So if he went out on the ship and was gone for 4 months and returned with a bunch of riches, found by a fleet of sailors who would have been able to vouch for him, hey, yeah, we found this guy on this island and he had all of these riches.
Yeah.
Either the truth of the story could be, hey, he is the lone survivor of this crashed vessel, and all of the riches, of course, survived, but all the men died. They all washed ashore. All of the bodies. He's there staying on this island,
cannibalizing off of them.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Doing what it takes to survive.
Right.
And he knows that when he returns, he has to have some amazing story to sort of come out on top after all of this.
Right.
And so maybe that's what he did. My second thought, though, was what if he was a traitor? What if the other ship was destroyed by rival enemies, and he was the inside man, and he was there with... How
do you be an inside man in this time? Pigeons?
Maybe.
Okay.
And he was there with the other side and hanging out for 4 months, and then they're like, okay, yeah, now go back and report this story. We I don't know.
Yeah, that one's a little harder to.
I think
he's a cannibal.
I'm trying to write the spy thriller.
Yeah, I know. This is a terrible movie, Paul. Don't write this movie.
It's already in talks.
Oh fuck! Who plays the snake?
The snake, would you believe it, is Liam Neeson.
I do believe it, actually.
Yeah.
Who plays Brett?
Brett is Catherine Hahn.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot. Who plays the Pharaoh?
The Pharaoh is Glenn Close.
I don't like that.
Oh, yeah. And she is definitely not. She's just yet another person who shouldn't be playing an Egyptian.
That's right. Actually, no, I don't like Catherine Hahn. You whitewashed this.
Well,
you cast this.
I did not.
You did this to us.
I went into the pitch meeting and this is what they gave me.
Oh, this is okay. That's a fair reflection.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And the vizier is Abigail Breslin. Too young.
Too young.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a terrible movie, and I will see it. Because what else is there to do?
Oh, and all 74 of the other serpents, Drew Barrymore.
Fuck. She always makes her way back in these myths.
Yeah.
God, I think she has a first option on all the myths, right? When they're turned into movies because of her place in the duat.
That is true. Snake Island. Snake Island.
Oh, tell me a story.
Here at Snake Island, you'll find every amenity at arm's reach. You'll find fruits of figs, berries. You'll find fish willing to jump into your hand and flap right into your mouth. You'll have willing birds jump into the air and fly and be willing participants in your consumption.
But it comes with a cost here at Snake Island.
Yes, every traveler to Snake Island must come with a story that is entertaining to the native dwellers. Who are these native dwellers, you ask?
Snakes.
They are 75 bearded snakes.
Yes. And we also accept MasterCard.
Snake Island. Snake Island.
Better have a good story. You gonna get burned. Snake.
Hey, I think we
did harmonize.
We did?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Or we anti-harmonized.
We might have anti-harmonized.
Snake
Island. Oh.
Snake.
What are you doing? Anyway, Sarah, thanks for listening to this kind of pointless tale of the shipwrecked sailor.
Thanks for wasting my fucking time. No, I would like to say, if you had to pull something fable-like, some sort of lesson, what would you say? What would you say the lesson to this fucking story is?
The lesson of the story is, if you're gonna tell a bullshit lie, you might as well make it
go hard.
Yeah, you might as well make it entertaining.
Shoot your shot.
Like, if you can tell.
Oh, baby, I got it. This is the story.
Sparta.
the fucking lesson here is literally fake it till you make it. This guy climbed the corporate ladder by lying, just like everybody else.
Sure.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, if you're in a conversation and you notice someone's eyes glazing over, just keep making it more ridiculous.
Yeah. Which is kind of what I do.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for listening to another episode of Myth Understood. If you enjoyed today's episode, you can tout your enjoyment by wearing merch, by drinking out of merch.
I think we need a bearded snake now on merch.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Okay. Well, now you're challenging me to it.
I know.
You can also become a patron, support us on Patreon. You can join our Discord community and chat with us on the Discord. Sarah responds with stickers.
I do.
And people are looking for those sticker comments. After our last episode where I mentioned that, people posted like just here for the sticker response.
Oh, fuck me. Okay, I'm on it.
All of that can be found at www.mythunderstoodpodcast.com. And please again follow us on social media. You can find us at _mythunderstood. You can find me at the Paul Bianchi. You can find her at the Sarah Oliver, and you can find the Dragon Wagon Network at It's Dragon Wagon.
And you can find a magical island only if everyone you know dies.
That's absolutely true. Please continue to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. It helps new listeners find us, and it makes us happy.
Yeah, and thank you for your messages and emails. They warm this sad, broken, cold little heart.
Night-night.
Night-night.
Hey everybody, Jake here from Dragon Wagon Radio, and I'm here with Mark E. Extreme and Skeeter Skyflyer.
Did you just have to read that? Okay, I mean, how could you possibly not know who I am? Because my name is Mark Extreme, 15 plus years undefeated backyard wrestling entertainment champion and owner and the host of On Your Mark. So I'm offended that you don't know who I am, and I'm here with the on my shoulder.
As Skeeter Skyflyer. I mean, a lot of people don't know me, but it makes sense that people don't know you too.
Look, everybody. I'm a pretty big deal, okay?
Well, I mean no disrespect, Mr. Extreme, I assure you, but you mentioned you have a podcast on the network called On Your Mark. What exactly is On Your Mark?
On Your Mark is the best wrestling podcast on the airwaves. Every Wednesday, we are deep diving into wrestling topics, like giving you a perspective like you've never heard before, because there's nobody that can give you a perspective like I can.
Well, a lot of people could give the perspective that you give on wrestling, but they're busy being wrestlers and being really successful in the ring and working and being in front of millions of people every week on television and in a crowd.
There's nothing different.
All right, I think I get what's happening. It's comedy. You guys are just doing a bit. Mark, you're like every 90s wrestling kid stuck in the past. And Skeeter, you're like the idiot little brother type who just loves everything, no matter how cheesy it is. I get it. You're playing characters. You guys are like a pro wrestling version of Jiminy Glick or Tony Clifton.
Well, I don't know who the hell those guys are. And, frankly, I'm kind of offended because I take this business very seriously, and there's nothing funny about what we do, right, Skeeter?
That's right. So tune in every Wednesday. A new episode drops weekly, covering new topics on onyourmarkshow.com. Also, wherever you're listening to your podcast right now.
It's Dragon Wagon.